बोलिए सतगुरु महाराज की जय, सच्चे दरबार की जय. Thank you everyone for joining me today for another spiritual talk. There is a code called a norm that we all knowingly or unknowingly follow or compare ourselves to. And it's in all aspects of our life. Children who are 7, 8 years old want cell phones today because everyone has one. That is the norm. No one wears their baggy jeans anymore because skinny jeans is what's in style, is what the normal people wear. The truth is that this norm changes from time to time. For example, there was a time where writing a letter to a loved one was the norm. In order to keep in touch, people wrote letters all the time to their friends and family across the globe. But today, if you mention to someone that you are writing a letter, they'll look at you funny and ask you, what age do you belong to? Because it's no longer the norm. The same is true with religion and spirituality. There was a time where it was the norm to be religious, that everyone took out time to spend with themselves, to build a deeper connection with their soul. But over time, that became abnormal. Let me explain with an example. In 1996, an experiment was done with 5 monkeys. These 5 monkeys were put into a cage. And at the corner of the cage, one corner of the cage, a bunch of bananas were hung. And like any normal monkey, of course the monkeys are going to run towards the bananas. So as one would go towards the bananas, the rest of the monkeys would have cold, freezing water showered upon them. So they would start to scream, and the monkey who was heading towards the bananas would stop. And this happened a few times. Every time a monkey was going towards the bananas, the rest of the monkeys would have freezing cold water showered upon them. And after this happened a few times, every time a monkey went towards the bananas, the rest of the monkeys grabbed him and beat him to the ground, so he would stop proceeding towards the bananas. The next day, one of the monkeys was removed and replaced with a brand new monkey who knew nothing about the freezing cold water. And sure enough, as soon as he saw the bananas, he was jetting towards them. But the rest of the monkeys grabbed him and beat him to the ground. One by one, throughout the day, each monkey was replaced with a brand new one. And over the course of the day, it was found that no monkey would even head towards the bananas. The norm is that a monkey loves bananas. But in this experiment, it was abnormal for a monkey to go for the bananas. The same happened with religion and spirituality. In olden times, religion and spirituality were not two different things. They were one and the same. Spirituality is the quintessence of religion. And it was normal for everyone to practice in their daily lives. But when greed got the better of man, When a handful of people realized that this could be a business that they can make money out of, and that religion was only the right of a privileged few, slowly this norm started to change. Whenever someone set out seeking the truth or finding the bigger purpose in life, they were stopped by their peers. As people suffered in the name of religion, it became abnormal to be religious. But we know in today's day and age, more and more people are awakening to the fact that spirituality is the need of the hour. But there are so many questions surrounded around it. So today we're going to try and help answer some of these questions. What is spirituality? We comprise of the body, the mind, and the soul. And the soul being the most intimate part of us. The discovery of this soul is what spirituality is. And the relationship between spirituality and religion is that spirituality is the quintessence of religion. It's almost like a cream-filled donut or a donut that has jam filled in the center. That cream, that jam is what spirituality is. The essence of religion, the nectar of where religious practices lead you towards is what spirituality is. It is an individual practice that leads us to peace and happiness. Spirituality is the journey into the self. Why do we need spirituality? Asking why we need spirituality is almost asking, why do we need food and water to survive? We all know that without food and water, our body will perish. Just like that, without practicing spirituality in our life, without practicing meditation, our soul does not receive the energy it needs in order to survive. And without the soul, the body cannot exist. And if we're looking to be at peace, if we're looking to be content and satisfied in life, we're going to have to pay attention to the needs of our soul. There are many theories and treatises about how to attain world peace. But we all know that they are not working. And the reason is because we need to start at the root, which is each individual. When each individual attains a state of peace, eventually the world will be at peace. We all know that mental health is on the rise, especially after this COVID-19 pandemic. People are struggling with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. The numbers are increasing tremendously. The only solution is to help one connect within. These mental illnesses existed from eons. And there are ancient techniques, ancient time-tested tools that prove to work, that prove to provide an everlasting solution. We just have to make those ancient techniques and tools the norm today. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Nenam shindanti shastrani, nenam dehti pavaka, na chainam kledyantyapo na shushyati marta. That the soul cannot be cut by weapons, cannot be burnt by fire, cannot be wet by water, cannot be dried by the wind. Reminding Arjuna that within him is this infinite power that gives him the strength to face any situation, any struggle in his life. The need today is for us to pay attention to our spiritual growth, to build a relationship with our soul, to delve deep into it and recognize its power and strength, to receive the wisdom we need in order to overcome our obstacles and our struggles, to experience contentment and peace that we are looking for. Spirituality is what is going to make living in peace the norm. Where to start your spiritual practice? The wise have always said you can only start where you are. And the truth is that we've started on this journey from many lifetimes ago. But what we can do in this life is enhance this journey or delay it. The need of growth exists within us. That's why we look towards gaining more wealth, gaining status, trying to make sure we've got a good living. But when this need of growth turns inwards, when it turns towards self-growth, that is when we truly begin our spiritual path. Our mind is like a pendulum swaying back and forth between the past and the future. We're constantly thinking about the things we've gone through or where we want to be headed. The elderly generation is always thinking about the past. They have amazing stories to tell about their struggles and their hurdles, about things they have done in their lifetime. And the younger generation is always thinking about the future. Where am I headed? Where do I want to be in 5 years, in 10 years? But a child is quite content just sitting and playing with their toys. We need to train the mind to be like that child. Still that pendulum, so that we can live in the present moment. Training the mind to be right here, right now, is an amazing place to start your spiritual practice. How do I start on a spiritual path? A ball has potential energy in it. When that ball is thrown upwards, it transfers into kinetic energy for it to travel upwards. Just like that, within us, at the base of our spine, is dormant energy. But when a guru, a master comes into our lives and awakens that energy, rises it upwards, it is then that our consciousness starts to expand. So in order to start, we need to find an enlightened master, a teacher, a guru who is awakened, who has experienced the truth, who has experienced the soul for themselves, and holds the capacity to enable us to experience it for ourselves. Because without having our own experience of God, our own experience of spirituality, we're as good as not having started on this path. When we go to a new place, we can either choose to read the maps ourselves, read about the country, the tourist places, and figure out how we're going to navigate ourselves through the country. Or we can hire ourselves a guide. The same is true on the path of spirituality. In order to make your journey easier, in order to make your journey more fruitful, we need that guru who can lighten our path, who can give us direction. Because as we start tapping into energy fields, just like there is positive energy out there, there is equally powerful negative energy. But a guru is that protective shield that protects us and ensures that we are only channeling positive energy, that we're only tapping into the source of light. So if you want to start on this journey, from my experience, I can tell you that Sri Ashutosh Maharaj is that guru today, providing this practical experience of awakening that we call Brahm Gyan. That awakens that dormant energy that lies within us and rises it upwards. That helps our consciousness expand. That removes the tensions and the negativities from the mind. And you can experience this for yourself as well when you receive the gift of Brahm Gyan. So when do I start? The best time to start anything great is now. We all know that our world is headed downwards. And more, the need to rise ourselves up. More and more, there is a desire for people to awaken themselves. If we want to truly find solutions, if we want to live in peace, if we want to make the norm a peaceful world, then we have to delve deep within. We have to connect with that which is everlasting. We have to pay attention to our spiritual growth. And we are here to help. If you want to start on a spiritual journey or enhance your spiritual journey further, then please connect with us at divinelightworld.org or connect with us through any of the social media handles at the end of this video. On that note, thank you all for listening. Have yourself a blessed day. Namaste.